Okay. On previous lecture, previous year, we start to consider arrays, and I told you that the array can be considered as a set of elements with the same name, with the same identifier, with the same type, but with different indexes. The number of the elements in the array should be specified during the array declaration. And we specify the number of the elements, and at the same time we fix the indexes of the elements, and these indexes starts from 0 up to num -1, where num is a number of elements in the array declaration. And the first element has the index 0. The last element has index num -1. The operation square brackets has different meaning. In the declarative statement, it specifies the size of the array, and in the executive statement, operation square brackets provides access to the element of the array with their given index. And also I show you some examples. These examples are written here in presentation, and more or less the same examples I show you in Visual Studio. Let me delete these lines of code. I write these examples one more time here. First of all, when we declare the array, the size must be constant, named or unnamed constant, or a constant expression. For example, if I declare the size as 5, I can write here a constant expression. For example, size times size. As far as size is a constant, size times size is a constant expression. And the elements of the array after its declaration are the values are undefined. If you declare the array but didn't assign any values to the elements of the array, these elements will be undefined. How to assign the elements? First, you can use the list of initialization. Something like this. Yes. Here, the first 3 elements of this array will be assigned as 5, 2, and 3, and the rest of the elements will be assigned with zeros. But for the large arrays, better to write usual loop where you can write some assignment operation. Example like this. And very important feature, I repeat it again, that compiler doesn't check the range of the index. You can write here the index size that is out of bounds. Size is the index is greater because the largest index in the array is size -5. In this case, again, we will see some undefined number, or even you can write here negative index, and compiler tells you okay. Compiler doesn't check negative indexes. So the range of the indexes must be checked by programmer. Unfortunately, compiler in this case cannot help you. Well, and after that you can write some algorithms with arrays. For example, let me declare, I just write some simple let it be A. Let me declare two arrays, D and A, and I assign some values to D, and I want to assign the same values but in their inverse order to the values to the array A. What is the values in the array D? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in the array A, I want to have the values 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. How to assign these values in the reverse order?
You change the for loop's condition when you say int I equals 4. I is
okay,
less,
okay, right. It's one of the solution. It's but usually the indexes is written from 0 to size, but I can change the indexes here in the loop body. What will be the value of the first element of the array A? It should equals to the last element of the array D. What I should write here? The size?
Yes. Because
maybe you should write
okay, first size is out of bounds. Size is completely wrong.
don't you need to change the I++ to I minus? Then you can just put
no.
Yes.
Okay, I write you some example here. Let me write here in the form of comment. What is the values of the array D? 1,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay. And here I write indexes. What is indexes?
0, 1, 2, 3, 4.
4. This is the values of the array D.
Yes.
Okay. The element of the array A with index 0. What value I should take? I should take the last value from the array D. What is the index of the last element?
4.
Right, 4. But if I put here 4, it will be wrong. If I put, because all the elements will be assigned to 4. Okay, to
minus. 4 minus, you put minus. After
minus. First of all, let me output the values to the screen. Cout.
Size minus 1.
Out A. And here, let's output the values of this array. Excuse me, I should answer this. Well, let's continue. If I write the assignment like this, if I write this assignment, what I see on the screen?
Wrong.
Yeah, you'll see 5 elements, 5, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4.
But not 4.
No, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Sorry. Yes.
We will see all the elements as the last element 5. We will see 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Or sorry. A, the array A, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Well.
So minus.
Minus.
Yes. Yes.
It will be wrong. You cannot decrease the constant. You cannot decrease the constant. 4 is a constant. You cannot decrease it.
Okay, maybe you put the minus outside of the square brackets on the left of the E.
No.
Size
Let
minus 1.
Okay. Let's discuss here. Let me write here. The index I starts from 0 up to 4. Okay. And when I equals to 0, this is the first element of the array A, and at the same time you should write some expression that will correspond to the last index of the array D. What is the last index of the array D? The last index is 4. Okay.
Yes.
But of course it's better to write it not 4 but size minus 1, right? The last index is size minus 1.
Why?
What is okay? What is the index of this element? The index is 3, but how to write it using size?
Oh, size minus 2.
Size minus 2.
Okay, I understand. Okay.
What is the index of this element? Size.
It's 2.
Size
Size minus 3. Minus 3. It's minus 3.
Size
Yeah.
minus 3. What should I write here as index? Size
Minus yes, minus 1.
-1.
size
But-
minus 1.
But then it's going to give the same result. All
Yes,
5.
if you write size minus 1, yes, you will have the same result. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5.
Maybe minus 1.
Maybe we should to make loop.
You will, okay. Let's write this index is size minus 1. The next index, size minus 2. Next should be size minus 3. Next, size minus 4. The last, size minus 1. And at the same time, you will have the index I in this loop that have values 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. You will have the index I with values 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you should write some expression that will have these values, size minus 1, size minus 2, size minus 3. Use the variable I. How to write the expression that will have these values? No ideas.
If
Maybe
I
size,
is equal size -1,
maybe size minus I.
then I bigger than 0.
Size minus I. Because I is increasing every time the loop goes through.
Size minus I. It's closer to correct answer, but it's wrong. Because if I run this program, we will see this undefined number. What is the first value of I? 0.
4.
Yes, it's
First
0.
value of I is 0. And
Yes.
size minus I will be what? Size.
It just be size, yes. So it's
Yes,
4.
but the last index is size minus 1. I should 1 from here. Something like this. Size minus 1 minus I. This expression will have the same values. If I equals to 0, size minus 1 minus I equals to size minus 1.
Ah, okay.
If I equals to 1, we will have size minus 1 minus 1 that equals to size minus 2. If I equals 2, we have size minus 1 minus 2 that equals to size minus 3, and so on.
Yes. Okay.
And in this case, the elements of the array I here will be used in increasing order with index I, but elements of the array D will be used in decreasing order using the index size minus 1 minus I. And if I run this program now, I will see the values 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, if you write just minus I, the first element will be out of bounds. And when you run this program, you will see some random number on the first position.
Yes.
Isn't writing size minus I index?
So sorry, please repeat your question.
Doesn't putting size minus 1 I put the first index at -1 out of bound? So because the first index is 0, and if you do -1, it becomes -1, and then if you do minus I, you're subtracting 0. That make the first index I minus basically negative I equals to negative.
I don't hear you. I'm very sorry. I can't understand your question. As far as I understood, you ask about can we change these indexes, or can we write here different index, right? Or no?
Basically, I was asking if you put size -1 minus I, doesn't it make it so that the first index becomes -1? Because if you do size -1, it subtracts 1 from 0, and then you subtract 0.
Okay. Can it be negative? Can it be negative? No, no. What is the largest value of I here? I smaller than size, so the last value will be size -1, and we will have size -1 minus size -1, and the last value will be 0. If you write here not strictly equals, but not strictly less, but less than or equals, in this case, it will be a mistake, because the last value of I now is size, and size -1 minus size will be -1, and in this case, we will have a mistake.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
But also, it's a very good example, this task, because it shows how we can work with indexes of the array. And okay, and well, I can use these indexes here, size -1 minus size, and here I, and I will get exactly the same result. Let's run the program, and I get 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. How it works? How it will work? Here we start from the largest index in the array A, size -1 minus 0, it equals to size -1, and this value is 0, and we're assigned the first element from array D to the last element of the array A. So this to this. Next step, I equals to 1. And the second element of the array D will be assigned to this element of the array A, and so on.
Okay, I see how it goes.
So we can change the indexes. Well, and the final solution that can be used here, somebody also wrote this solution in chat. Also, I can change, I just copied it from the chat because it's correct. I can change the loop for, but I can change it. But what should I write here? Here, the indexes of the elements in the array A and D should be the same, because it doesn't matter what index I to what is the first value of the index I. It may be size -1, it may be 0. It doesn't matter. We get the same result. How it works in this case? The first element, the first index is size -1. The first value of I is size -1. It means that here we have index 0, and here we have index size -1. So the last element of the array D will be assigned to the first element of the array A, and so on. I mean, it doesn't matter how you will write the loop. The body of loop will be the same. Is it clear?
Yes, Professor.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
And pay attention that it's a great difference between the order of the elements in the array and order of the elements and how you print these elements to the screen. To show you it, let me write here the array D, the initial array. Okay, I move this before. Let me output first the values of the array D. We will see the values of the array D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and after that, the elements of the array A, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But you see that we print these elements here using index I that starts from 0 up to size. What happens if I change the index? What will we see on the screen now?
Same. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
5,
Yeah.
4, 5. Yes.
Yeah, the reverse. Yeah.
We see 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 for both arrays. We see 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, but the elements of the array D still be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We just change the order of printing these elements. Again, I repeated, pay attention on this question because students very often confused here. When the task is to change the order of elements in the array, it means that you should replace the elements, but not change the order of printing of these elements to the screen. If you change the header of loop, you just change the order of printing, but not the order of the elements.
Understood, sir.
Okay. Now you see that the order of the elements in the array D is the same, but in the array A, the order of elements is changed. Well, okay, when I start this lesson, I want to consider pointers, but now I see that it's better to discuss about some algorithms, some problems related with array, because pointers is very hard and important topic, and it's better to consider it in details in the beginning of the next semester. Now let's discuss more about the algorithms. Well, okay, let me delete this explanation. Okay, let me delete the second array. Now, let's suppose that we have only one array with identifier D, and the task is the same. How to change the order of the elements in the array D without any other array. So the initial information, initial elements in the array D should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the final elements should be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we should use only one array without array A. Well, how do you think? What should I write here? What happens?
I was going to say, can you just replace the A with D?
Yes, and my question, what happens if I just replace? In this case, the program becomes correct from the point of view of compiler. Compiler tells us that succeeded, no errors, but let's output the array D before this transformation and after. Let's use here identify old D and new D. Yes, I output to the screen the first values in the array D, then transform the elements using this algorithm, and after that output new elements in this array. Well,
it's interesting.
We have some strange result. Instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or even 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, we have 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Different.
Are you trying to replace the element, change the elements in the in old D, or are you simply trying to rewrite different printing for the D? Because if you're just trying to print differently, we can just change the condition for the for loop.
Well, how to fix this mistake? How to fix this mistake? Think about it for a minute and try to write your answers in chat. How to fix the mistake in this algorithm to get new array D as 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, no ideas how to change it, how to fix this mistake. Change loop condition. No. And this, the next solution is also wrong. Okay, let's try to use it. First, your solution is to change the loop condition. But again, in this case, loop condition if we change it, the situation will be exactly the same. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. And we have the same situation. Well, let me write some explanation. And sorry, I change not here. Sorry, this I change the wrong 4. But situation will be the same if I run. So situation is not the same, but the result will be wrong. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as the initial value of the array D, but the result will be 5, 4, 3, 4, 5. No. Well, okay, it's hard question for you, maybe. But let me write here example. This example, I move it closer to the loop, and let me come back. Let me return. Let me return these. Let me return this loop again. Well, this is the wrong result. But what happens? Let's try to implement this algorithm step by step. This is a old D, and this is new D. But I write it here just for simplicity, because we have only one array D, right? What is the first index I? What is the first value of I? I is 0.
Oh, it's 0, so yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I is 0.
Yes.
We take the first element of D, and what should we do? What should we do? If I just assign, I delete this value 5. What happens? I assign 1 to the last cell. If I write just this assignment, I assign 1 to the last cell. And this value, this 5, will be lost. Is it clear? Because I have only one array, I just assign this one. That's why next I take these 2 and assign to this value, and so on. And sorry. That's why we have these values 1, 1, 2, 2, 3. We lose the value of 5. How to fix this mistake? Okay, do you remember how to change the values of 2 variables? Do you remember? Suppose that you have 2 values, A equals to 1 and B equals to 2. How to change the values of A and B?
No, I do not remember.
No. Oh, it's very bad, because I think you consider it on practice, and also we discuss about it on lectures.
You're saying like at the same time, right? Like how to change both values in one index or one.
Well. Let's discuss about this more simple problem. We have A equals to 1 and B equals 2. How to change the values? I want to have A equals to 2 and B equals to 1.
You just say A equals to B and B equals to A.
Well, if you write A equals to B, you delete the old value of A.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
What is the solution? The solution is to remember to store the old value of a in some temporary variable. Int temporary variable equals to a. And after that, I can assign b to a and
So you need another temporary variable for b as well.
no. It's enough. It's enough.
You can say
Only one. And b
Okay.
is assigned by temporary variable. Temporary variable
It's called
here
swap.
is old value of variable a. After this assignment, all of these values will be 2, but I remember the previous value of a in this temporary variable. And I assign the value of temporary variable to the variable b. Again, we can change the values of two variables only through third temporary variable.
Oh, okay. So you just you need a storing array, an empty storing array.
Not array, but one temporary variable.
Yes. For this example, yes.
Well, is it clear for these two variables, right?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
I
But
think it's called the swap.
sorry, please repeat.
This operation is called the swap or sweep. I don't know.
Swap, yes. This operation, yes, swap. We swap the values of a and b.
Reverse something.
Well, and here, yes, we should swap the values of the variable first and last. So the elements with indexes size -1, -i, and I, we should swap it. I delete this example. How to swap these elements? We should introduce a temporary variable. Temporary variable. We should remember the value d with index size -1, -i. And after that, we can assign d with index I to d with indexes size -1, -i. After that, what should we do? According to my example that I write with elements, with variables a and b, what should I write next?
It's a loop, so it's going to continue and it's going to repeat 5 times. So I don't think you can do anything.
Okay, loop will be repeated. Don't worry about loop. But to swap the elements first and last, I should write 3 statements. Yes. I wrote only 2. What should be the next statement? Okay, if it's hard, let's do it step by step. First value of I. What is the first value of I? 0.
0.
Yeah.
What is the first value of size -1, -i? 4.
4, yes.
This is 4. And it means that value of team P first, at the first step, is 5. the last element. I take the last element and assign it to the temporary variable.
Yes.
After that, I take the value d equals to 1 and assign it to the last value.
Yes.
So the array becomes like this. What should I do next? I have 5 written in temporary variable. Where I should, to what cell I should, to what element of the array I should assign 5?
To the last.
Why?
No,
to-
to the first.
To the first element. 5 was the last, and
Okay.
I take the first and assign to the last, and these 5 I should assign to the first. What is the first element?
So d of
The
I
D of I.
equals temp.
Well, so, to swap the elements, I should write 3 statements. I should write, I should use the temporary variable, and temporary variable I assign the last element, and after that I assign it to the first. So we don't have here D, all D, let me write just D, because we have only one array, okay? Well, let's run this program and let's check the result. Result is very strange. Maybe it's not strange, but we see that the old D and new D are the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why? Why these elements? Why the arrays are the same? Okay, let's let's work like compiler. Let's perform next step. What is the second value of I? The first value
1.
of I is 0. The second, the next element is 1.
1.
1. Okay. What is the value of TMP? Temporary variable.
Oh, this will
Yeah.
be
It's wait. So when int is 1,
Yes,
Temp-
I is 1.
yes, then the value should be 4 because it's
Right, 4. Okay, I is 1. We have size minus 1 minus 1. The value is 4.
yes.
After that, this line, what happens?
Then you assign the third index, which you assign the third index to
4, which is a new template.
to the first to
Yes.
this first index.
This index, this element is 4, right? This element is the second, I equals 2, right? And we have 2 and 2. And after that,
okay. Should be
we assign 4 here. Okay.
towards
But
0.
what happens next? What happens next?
Next,
I
the
equals to 2.
yes,
right?
yes, yes. I becomes 2.
I becomes 2.
Yes.
TP becomes
3.
3.
Yeah.
We assign 3 to 3.
Yes. 3 to 3 to the second index. So yes,
3 to 3 and assign it again. But what happens next?
Now I becomes 3.
3.
Yeah.
I equals 3. This element.
So TMP becomes 3.
No. Why?
Oh,
I equals 3.
Oh yes, yes.
Minus 4 is 2.
2, yeah.
Sorry, size minus 4 is 1. 4.
3. Wait, let me think about that.
This index is 2. This index is 2. When I equals 3, I equals 3, size minus 1 minus I equals 2.
Yes.
Sorry. Сейчас 0, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, equals 2. So temp becomes 2, right?
Sorry, wait a minute. 0, 1, 2. 3, 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. No. Size minus 1 minus is 1. I is 3.
Oh, 4 minus 3. Yeah, size is 5 minus 1 is 4.
5 minus 1 minus 3 is 1, right?
Yes.
And temp will be 4. But what happens? 4 changes with 2. Well, these indexes and these 3 lines change the elements. First and last, second and last minus 1, and so on. But when we work, when we process the half of the array, the process go next, and we take again these and these elements and we replace it. These and these elements, and we swap it back. The last value of I is 4. After we have again 2 and 4, the last value of I is 4. What is size minus 1 minus 4? Is 0. The temporary variable will be 5.
Yeah.
And we assign 5 to 1. Sorry, we assign 1 to 5. And 5 we assign here. And the array becomes as initial array.
Is the solution to just make a secondary temp?
No, we already solved this problem using second array. We already solved.
No second temporary.
No. Only one array, and only one temporary variable. The solution is very simple. Let's consider this task again from the beginning. I equals to 0, size minus 1 minus size equals to 4. Temporary variable is temporary variable is 5. We assign 1 here and 5 here, right? The next step, I equals to
1.
1, and we swap next two elements. Okay, when I equals to 0, we swap the first and the last. When I equals to 1, we swap second and last minus 1.
Yeah.
We should stop right now because we solved the problem. We replace the algorithm should stop at this point.
So if statement and a break.
No, not okay. Maybe we can write if statement and break, but it can be done using for condition. And the solution is very simple. Where we should stop? We should process not all the array, but only the half. Only the half of the array. We should divide size over 2.
Okay.
Only the half of the array. And if I change their statement here, the solution will be correct.
This can work with any size array.
Yes, you can change. You not 5 but 15.
Okay.
Not 15 but 50. We have 50 elements here and 50 elements in inverse order.
Okay.
And so on. Well, let me repeat the main points of the algorithm. The first point, the body of loop, it should be organized as a swap operation that swaps, that changes the values of the current element with index I, and the element with index size minus 1 minus I. We take two elements, I and size minus 1 minus I, and change these elements. First and last, second and last minus 1, third and last minus 3, and so on. Last minus 2, and so on. But this process should be stopped when we process the half of the array, not the full array, but only the half. So we should divide here size over 2, because if I delete it, the elements will be placed at the same order as from the very beginning. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You should write here size over 2. Well, let's write it 10, not 50, but 10. It is very large. The same can be done using the if statement. Yes, you're right. You can write one more if statement. If I equals to size over 2,
you
then
break.
Break. The result will be the same. But exactly the same you can write just here. Well, any questions about these algorithms of inverting the array? The simple algorithm is to use the second array. Just to write the elements to the second array in reverse order. But more complex algorithm is to use only one array and one temporary variable to write all the elements in this array without any additional arrays.
Okay, it's very interesting, sir.
Well, we have just 5 minutes in our lesson. Let me remind you that this Thursday you will have the last practice lesson, and next Monday we will discuss about your results, and I will give you the problems for the test. Okay, let me stop recording.